Hey guys, welcome to the Perfect Podcast. I'm your host, Eugene Bush. This is my wonderful co-host.
Indescribable.
Hey! We have finally made the Perfect Podcast. Y'all see the set?
Something like that.
You see this?
This is nice.
This is nice.
I know they got this off layaway.
No, we invested in this.
Okay, with the $125 budget.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Right? So that's why I won't have any money to pay you for a while. But
that's
look at the
crazy.
set.
I'm finna go home.
No, you can't, Tiny. We just started. Okay? Hey, guys. So look, we have the perfect topic for you today. Okay? Because this podcast is the one for you to listen to. You don't really ever have to listen to any other podcast because all of it's going to be right here. And so we have the perfect topic for you today. And that topic is
relationships.
Remember,
we talked about this.
We did. Relationships.
We had a whole meeting about it.
We did. See, this is why you're a perfect co-host.
You better find some perfect budget for me after this. I know that. Go on, tell them about it.
So, relationships are really important, from what I hear, right?
Of course.
Why don't you talk about what we talked about when it comes to relationships?
That there is no perfect relationship.
But I would differ. I would completely differ. Okay. So that's really what you're going to learn in this podcast is that we're seeking the perfect relationship. I've got the answer.
Relationships can be good. They can be fun. They could probably benefit you a lot. You can grow and learn, but they probably won't be perfect. You know, there's going to be some ups and downs. Our relationships have challenges.
See, I don't believe that, Tiny. Right? I feel like there exists in this world your perfect mate. Not even your soulmate, like the perfect mate. Right? I mean, it may not just be in a marriage. Like, what if it's a friendship? You ever think about that?
I think friends can be soulmates, but I don't think anybody's perfect for you. I think they probably just have a majority of the things that you're looking for in a relationship, right? And then you just kind of work the rest out. Nothing's going to be perfect. You're looking for perfection, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Sort of, but then maybe you just haven't met the perfect person. Because there's a lot of people on this planet. Do you feel like you've run into all of them?
Well, obviously not, Eugene.
Okay, see? So what if, Tiny, just go with me here. What if there exists on this planet
We're getting canceled.
the perfect person? Maybe they're in China or South Africa.
I got to go all the way over there?
Or they may come here. It's just for whatever reason you haven't crossed paths with them.
How soon are they coming? Can we get a tracking number on?
So in my studies, right, I've talked to my therapist. And
that's just, okay.
Yeah. Because I haven't found the perfect relationship either.
Okay.
But I'm saying that they exist.
But your therapist going to help you find it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
just make sure I'm on the same page.
Right. I feel like the perfect partner will appear at the perfect time.
Okay, that sounds beautiful.
Yeah.
That sounds great.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's what I want to do. I really want to help our viewers.
But realistically speaking, a lot of times, you know, timing is a really big part of relationships.
It is.
Sometimes you meet somebody when you're just getting out of something. Your heart is broken. You're not really ready to jump headfirst into something else. Yeah. And in that case, that person might be really great, but not right now.
But then
that's not always gonna be the case. You know what I mean?
But then you would have entered the relationship at an imperfect time. See, so you can't.
But not if you met them. Like if you meet the perfect person and you just really toe up from the last relationship, you can't date that person.
If they're the perfect person, they'll be just as toe up as you, and your toe up mixed with their toe up.
It's the toxicness for me.
Is it that toxic?
That is toxic as hell, Eugene. What are you talking about?
I just feel like it'd be too like
doing your hands like this don't make it make sense.
Okay,
that don't conceal nothing. I can still see
like
that's craziness.
Two rips come together and create a stronghold.
Both of y'all gonna be in strong therapy sessions.
Ooh.
Both of y'all gonna have therapy that you're gonna have to go to. That's foolishness is what that is.
So here's my question. Let me ask this. Because I feel like there are viewers out there who really feel like I do. That's why I really want to start the perfect podcast. And so do you really feel like out of the 3 billion people on this planet, is it 3 billion? 6 billion?
I feel like you made that up. It's probably closer to 8.
Somewhere around there. I need a fact checker. We need to add that to the show. I got a
You
couch.
think we couldn't have talked about that in the first planning meeting?
There was a lot going on in that first planning meeting.
There was nothing going on in that
There was
planning
a whole
meeting.
lot. I mean,
Let's recap.
Okay.
Sponsorship, pies.
How do you recall that first planning? That was so long ago.
There was no. You just
That episode aired at least 3
dropped
weeks ago.
The act.
It-
It was this morning. Dang. Okay.
Tiny day.
You know we ain't got no budget. We had a short amount of time to film this. We got one day to knock all this stuff out. You told me that when you lied and said we was going to the movies. Remember that part?
I remember.
And you
that.
said we was going by the farmer's market after that.
I remember.
So now I'm stuck being a co-host for some podcast. I don't even. Are these cameras? Are these working? Because you
I hope
recorded
so.
2 whole episodes. Mm-hmm. And now we're sitting up here talking about relationships.
So here's what's so amazing about this. Do you see how we're vibing? Do you feel that? Do you feel the good energy going back and forth?
I'm gonna tell you what you feel.
This is why you're the
It ain't no
perfect
vibe. I'm gonna tell you that.
co-host.
It ain't no vibe. I'm finna dive on you. That's what that is.
That's love.
That
Tiny?
ain't what that is.
Wow. So viewers, I'm telling you, this is the perfection you need to seek.
This is not.
Right? It's a balance. So people are always trying to find that perfect relationship, thinking the other person's supposed to be so great and amazing. But what if you find somebody who is just as flawed as you?
You don't think both of y'all need to be working on that? Put your hands down.
It fits.
No, it does not. You don't want to find somebody who's just as flawed. You want somebody who will bring you up. You want somebody who will bring you out of that nasty, mucky, miry place. You don't want to stay there with that person. That's a trauma bond. Therapy, for somebody who in therapy, they missed that step. Okay, so you need to take this information back to your counselor and let them know that you need a crash course on trauma bonding, because that's not safe.
Have you ever gone to your therapist and actually suggested to them how life should be? I think that's half the issue. Is we're too busy relying on someone else to dictate to us what makes us happy. I told my therapist, I said, if 2 people are broken and we both help each other in that broken state, wouldn't it be the perfect broken relationship?
I think that I should have smoked before I came here. That's what I think. Because for some reason you insist on doing life the wrong way. I don't know what manual.
What would be the perfect drug, Tiny?
At this point, comatose.
Comatose.
At this point, I genuinely no longer want to do this.
See, but you're just not focusing right, because that's what I bring to the table. See, here's the balance between us, right? You are so gifted and talented.
He's gonna make this a podcast.
It is a podcast. People are listening. Okay, listen. I'll
we
prove
have
it.
no viewers.
I'll prove it. If you guys are listening to this podcast right now, I want you to make sure you go to Indescribable's page and let her know this perfect podcast is the most perfect podcast I've ever seen. Leave a comment on her page to prove it.
Don't comment on my page.
Yes.
Don't do what don't stop listening to him.
Okay. And then you're going to come back to my page and you're going to tag Indescribable on the E-Tre Productions
market.
page.
It's a new type of yellow dragon fruit out, and I saw it on TikTok, and I thought that he was going to take me up there to get some organic dragon fruit, and now I'm on the podcast.
See, so this is how this works. Sometimes life
Now
will
I'm on a
throw
podcast.
you a curveball, right? But you could be falling into the perfect situation, the perfect relationship, the perfect podcast, and not even know it. But you got to go with the flow. So, I mean, that's what it's about. So it's like, you got to flow with me.
Okay, let's flow. So what's the topic? What is going to be the
all
topic
right,
of the
all
podcast?
right. So let's go back to the perfect relationship.
Okay. Which
So
doesn't exist, but go ahead.
It absolutely does.
Okay.
It's about flowing. Okay. So I met somebody who wasn't perfect, right? Which tells me what I need to look for in the perfect relationship. I think that's what most people don't do. They get into the relationship and they think what's wrong with them is affecting me versus what's wrong with them is the lesson or what I need to look for in the perfect person.
You know what?
Bars.
That probably could get you killed. I think that might be the worst piece of information I've ever listened to in my entire life.
I've heard that before.
I think, yeah. I'm not surprised that you've heard.
Yeah, but I just think they're all wrong.
Everybody's wrong.
Yes, everybody is. This is the perfect podcast. The information on this podcast is what's right. Yep. Soak it in.
Okay, okay. Relationships.
Yes.
Child raising.
Child rearing.
People come from different places,
Yes.
backgrounds,
Yes.
religious,
Yep.
sects or whatever.
Yep.
You saying that there's a perfect way to do that?
There is.
Okay,
Absolutely.
well, what's the perfect way?
Yep. So, based on my studies,
Again, with this, because
I've studied
scholarly
a
research,
long
peer-reviewed
time for this.
articles.
Absolutely.
Uh-huh.
The internet primarily.
Come on, Bing.
What's supposed to happen to have the perfect child rearing is you're not supposed to focus on the children. That's what it is. People give too much focus on the child. The mind is not even developed
It's so profound.
yet.
You know what? We should share this information
Where?
with the Department of Human Services
They need to know.
because you're going to jail.
No,
You're going to jail. This is
I would
taped,
only
too?
go to jail.
You hired people to film this?
Yes.
You're going to
Tiny.
jail.
I would only go to jail if there were children in jail that needed this information, right? I feel like we're all going places that need to hear the information that we're giving out. So if we need to start a child care in jail, we go with the flow, Tiny. We're perfect.
I've never seen somebody so committed to their delusions before in my life. This is actually inconceivable, and I think we should share this with the world.
I agree.
It's crazy, but I'm fully on board because I need other people to see this. There's no way nobody's going to believe that you're doing this production and this is actually a thing.
It really is a thing. This is a real podcast.
So I'm glad we have proof because this is insane.
This is amazing.
And we've been rolling the whole time. Y'all
Yes.
got all of this?
Absolutely. Okay. This is
crazy.
the perfect podcast. We're talking about how to get the perfect relationship. And so do you feel like you could have the perfect relationship now?
I think that there was a sale on yellow dragon fruit at the farmer's market. And you had told me
Are we back there?
that we was going
Yeah.
to the farmer's market. And now I'm on a podcast.
It's okay. So I'm going to take you to the farmer's market after this.
Please, because I sure ain't getting paid.
In fact, you know what? My producer, Valika Holt. Hi. Could you just make sure we get yellow dragon fruit?
No. I want my check.
That's coming
I can get
next
my own
week.
dragon
That's coming
fruit.
next week.
I want a check.
We'll get her the yellow
Because
dragon
to
fruit.
be doing
right
all of
now.
this, and you got lights and stuff, you got a whole setup.
Isn't this nice? You don't like how your melanin's popping?
First of all,
It's perfectly popping.
It pops regardless.
But
Okay.
with lighting it does.
Pops
And
regardless.
for those who are not viewing us, those eyeballs of hers.
There are no viewers.
No, there are, Tiny. We have we've gone viral.
You're right.
3 times.
Because with the views that you had. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot.
Back to your eyeballs. Those eyeballs look amazing. Can you close up on those eyes?
It's the iris for me.
Close up on those eyes. Wow.
Right there.
Wow.
It's, yeah.
Those are the perfect eyes. Yes. See, so now what she's thinking right now is, I don't know how he got me here.
He told me we was going to the farmer's market,
He
dog.
told
Like,
me we
I
was going
really
to the farmer's market,
thought
dog.
that we was getting the yellow dragon.
The yellow dragon. You see how in
You
tune we
mocking
are?
me?
No, we're in tune.
And why would you even wear
Why would
red?
you even wear red?
You did not know I was going to say that.
I knew you were going to
Stop
say that,
mocking me.
and I knew you were going to wear red. This is.
Eugene, stop it.
That's why I wore
That's
the only
not-
red shirt I got. And co-hosts match. So I had to match what you're doing.
You going to make me do this podcast, ain't you?
I'm going to make her do this podcast, ain't you? I knew you were going to say that too. Watch. You're thinking of a number right now.
Eugene, not really.
You are. You're thinking of a number.
I really
It's
don't wanna
in
play
between 7 and 7 million. Am I right? Am I right? If I'm right, you're staying on the show. Exactly. So, what's going to be our topic next week? This was amazing.
Friends who manipulate you into supporting their crazy, harebrained ideas.
In other words, the perfect friendship. I think we should cover that. And maybe on our next show, we can maybe bring in some guests that can give us their perspectives on how to achieve perfection. Because it exists. It absolutely exists. And so we're going to cover all those things here on The Perfect Podcast.
See y'all next week.
It's great. It's wonderful.